call this meeting of the Onslow County Board of Education to order. And at this time, I would like to welcome to our podium Reverend Marshburn, who will be delivering our invocation. Reverend Marshburn is from the Christian Life Fellowship Church.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How about the rest of you? Good evening. Let us pray. Father in heaven, we thank you and praise you for the privilege and blessing that we have to be here tonight. It's so awe-inspiring to see the teachers, the parents, the children, the board members, those who are so interested and so caring about what takes place in our schools, knowing that in the schools, more than in Washington, D.C. or Raleigh, North Carolina, is where this nation is shaped, where our values, our virtues. I ask you, Lord God, to bless them tonight. Oh God, those who've taken out their time, oh God, who care, oh God, who are here to make sure things go right with their kids, and I ask your blessings upon each one of them. Bless, oh God, that the right decisions will be made here tonight. I pray that in all that we do, we'll lift up the name of Jesus Christ and trust him and ask his blessings. And we do tonight, that everything tonight will be carried out according to your will. And, oh God, that because of this meeting here tonight, oh God, somebody will be blessed, somebody will be put in the right direction. Oh God, somebody will be encouraged to do your will. And we ask it in Jesus' precious holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend, for that wonderful message. Will the audience please stand and face the flag and join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I believe that is probably the most voices we've had in unison on the pledge in quite some time. Thank you for coming and doing that with us. Our first item on our agenda is approval of the agenda. And before we do that, I would like to ask that we have a motion to add an item to our board's agenda, and this would be to consider to join in a pending lawsuit that is entitling Alexander County Board of Education and others versus the state of North Carolina, and it deals with recouping some money that would be quite a lot for Onslow County should this lawsuit be won. So I'm asking now if we would entertain, someone would entertain a motion to add this as an item.
Make such a motion.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
And we will add that as item 9A. So now we'll ask for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Next is a consent agenda. There's several items under there that you've had a chance to peruse as you received the agenda earlier. Motion to approve that agenda is entertained.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Now for the item that we really look forward to each meeting is a Good News Spotlight. And I know that so many of you are here because y'all are part of that celebration, the Good News Spotlight. Dr. Eason, our Associate Superintendent of Instructional Services and Continuous Improvement, will begin our recognitions.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, Mr. Stout. We always have good news, but I think tonight is going to be an especially exciting evening. So I am going to start with the recognition of the 2016 Onslow County School System's Assistant Principal of the Year, who just also happens to be the 2016 North Carolina Secondary Assistant Principal of the Year. So I would like to welcome Brad Staley to the podium with me and his principal, Maria Johnson. And while they are making their way up here, I'd like to share with you that it is indeed my great honor to recognize Brad Staley, the assistant principal at Northside High School, for being chosen as the Onslow County School District's 2015-2016 Assistant Principal of the Year. And as previously stated, as exciting as that might be, we received word yesterday from the North Carolina Principal and Assistant Principals Association that he has also been selected as the 2016 North Carolina Secondary Assistant Principal of the Year. Each year, NCPAPA recognizes outstanding middle level and high school assistant principals who have demonstrated success in leadership, curriculum, and personalization. Mr. Staley will serve as North Carolina's representative, and along with all state secondary assistant principals of the year, will be invited to attend Ignite 16, February 25th through 27th of 2016 in Orlando, Florida. The event salutes assistant principals and provides an opportunity for them to share best practices and expertise with each other. He will also be recognized as North Carolina's representative at the Spring 2016 North Carolina Association of School Administrators Conference. At the district level, Mr. Staley was among 4 finalists considered for the designation. A committee comprised of a community member, district instructional staff member, the principal of the year, and the teacher of the year interviewed all finalists before making the selection. This is the 4th year that the Onslow County School System has selected a designee for their exceptional leadership. Mr. Staley has been the assistant principal at Northside High School since 2012. Prior to that, he spent 11 years as the band director at Northside. He earned his Bachelor's of Science degree in music education at West Virginia State University and an MSA in school administration from East Carolina University in Greenville. In addition to his assistant principal duties, Mr. Staley is responsible for beginning teachers, the SAT scholarship, the graduation project, 504 plans, and project graduation. The award, sponsored by the National Association of Secondary School Principals and the National Association of Elementary School Principals, recognizes the exceptional leadership and responsibilities involved in this key role in making school systems work. At this time, I would also like to honor the other Onslow County finalists. And I think Mr. Staley would definitely agree with me that his greatest competition for this honor came right within the geographic of the Onslow County School System. Our other finalists this year are Carrie Helt from Stateside Elementary, and she is here this evening with her principal, Mr. Jay Strope. We also have as a finalist Michelle Morangi from Newbridge Middle School and her principal, Chris Barnes. And also, last but not least, Paige Buckner, who is our assistant principal at Dixon Elementary, and her principal, Mr. Glenn Reed. A lot of great administrators in Onslow County, and thank each of you for everything you do. And Mr. Staley, congratulations.
Dr. Folger will be making the next recognitions.
Madam Chair, Board of Education, Mr. Stout, thank you for allowing us to recognize and tell the good news stories about our schools during our board meetings. And to see all of the wonderful students and employees here really brightens my mood, and I know it does everyone to see the good things that are happening in Onslow County schools. First, we would like to recognize some of our student athletes and their coaches. So I would ask for the Swansboro High School administrators, their girls and boys soccer players that are here, and their coaches, Coach Doug Kidd and Frank O'Connor, to please come forward. So the National Soccer Coaches Association of America annually recognizes high school soccer programs that have excelled in the classroom in addition to their performance on the field. The Swansboro High School boys and girls soccer teams were 2 out of the 398 teams nationwide to be recognized for exemplary performance in the classroom as a team during the 14-15 academic year. Among these programs, only 51 schools received honors for both their boys and girls teams across the United States, and Swansboro High School was one of those. To qualify for the award, the team must have a minimum grade point average of 3.25 for the entire academic year. Well, guess what? The Swansboro boys team had a 3.81 grade point average, and the Swansboro girls team had a 4.15 grade point average. The National Soccer Coaches Association of America is the world's largest soccer coaches organization with members at every level of the game, from professional down to grassroots, and includes administrators, referees, and others in the soccer industry. And so it's a great honor for these teams to be recognized. So please join our Board of Education and Superintendent in congratulating our school administrators, our hardworking coaches, our student athletes, and their families for this recognition. And Miss Andre, you might as well stay up. And we would ask for our next recognition for Bogue Dick, Swansboro High School student, to come forward, and with his principal, Miss Chris Andre. Bogue, are your parents in the audience? If we could see the parents, I like to always recognize the parents as well of our students. So very excited to share with you that Swansboro High School sophomore, Bogue Dick, is among 12 elite students chosen to receive a scholarship to attend the Francis Hesselbein Student Leadership Program this fall at the United States Leadership Academy. What an honor. Established by the Military Child Education Coalition in 2006, it's a 5-day program that delivers intensive leadership training that focuses on character development, on team building, goal setting, resilience, community involvement, and leaders in action, and helps students apply the skills that they are learning. Here's the real catch. No more than 24 sophomores and juniors that are active in their local student-to-student programs are chosen to participate each year, nationwide. Only 24 students. Full tuition is included, and that includes transportation, lodging, meals, program materials, supplies, and an opportunity of a lifetime. So congratulations to Bogue Dick for being one of 24 students. Next, I would like to ask for Coach Doug Kidd and Principal Chris Andre to please come forward. So Swansboro High School soccer coach Douglas Kidd was one of 8 nominees selected to be inducted into the North Carolina Soccer Hall of Fame class of 2016. Coach Kidd has served as a high school math teacher for 21 years and a high school soccer coach for 23 years. He's been at Swansboro High School since 2008. His teams, not much to brag about, but have won 3 state championships and been regional finalists 3 times. He was also selected as the Swansboro Teacher of the Year for the 12-13 academic school year. So congratulations to Mr. Kidd for being Coach Kidd for being inducted into the North Carolina Soccer Hall of Fame. And would like to say, I happen to be married to a coach, so don't know if you have family that's here tonight. Would ask for them to stand and be recognized. Because Coach Kidd, I personally recognize all the sacrifices that your family makes so that you can give of your time and your support and commitment to the students at Swansboro and on the soccer team. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And next, I would ask for Ms. Kelly Glenn with the Community Prevention Services to come and present the awards for the Red Ribbon Banner Contest.
Good evening. Each year, Community Prevention Services partners with Onslow County Schools to sponsor the Red Ribbon Banner Contest with elementary, middle, and high schools. The last week of October, this contest is held and is to foster drug resistance among our schools and our students. It starts with kindergarten and goes all the way up to high school. This year, we had 4 categories: Best Overall, Most Original, Most Creative, and then our Most Red Ribbon School Spirited, which is given to the school that has the most Red Ribbon activities throughout that week. Some go way above and beyond. Our first category of Best Overall, our first winner, Morton Elementary, for Respect Your Future, Drug-Free I Can Be. And I know they're here. There's Mr. Bentrup. The next winner in the Best Overall category was Meadowview Elementary, Don't Let Drugs Run Off With Your Future. want to say this banner was wall size. It actually took 3 pictures to actually take a picture of the whole banner, so I suspected they would not be bringing it. Oh, you want me to? Thank you, guys. In the most original category for elementary school, our first winner was Stateside Elementary for We Have the Power to Say No to Drugs. And this banner consisted of the students' pictures, but they were also in superhero costumes, and it was a very cute banner. Our next winner in the most original category for elementary school was Blue Creek Elementary. The sky is the limit. Don't let drugs hold you back.
Thank you.
Their banner consisted of a rocket ship, and it was my understanding that every student in the school participated in the creation of that banner. In the most original contest for middle school, the winner was Hunters Creek Middle, I Tune Out Drugs. The most original for high school was the Richlands High School SAD Club, Life is Sweet. And this young lady right here was the brainchild behind that banner. In the most creative category, Northwoods Elementary, Don't Go to the Dark Side, Resist Drugs. It was a Star Wars themed banner. The next winner in the most creative category for elementary schools, Swansboro Elementary, We Won't Get Hooked on Drugs.
Who's gonna hold the trophy? Who's gonna hold it? Here, well, I'll put it right in there. Put it right in there. Ready?
The last winner in the most creative for elementary school, Meadowview Elementary, Angry Birds Knock Out Drugs. And I know they don't have their banner. This one as well was wall size. The most creative for middle school award goes to Jacksonville Commons Middle School for Drug Busters. Our last award for most Red Ribbon School Spirited goes to Meadowview Elementary. I have here a folder of things they did throughout the week and beyond that. I would like to thank all the schools for participating, and we cannot wait to see what you come up with next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Do any members of the board have any items that they would like to highlight at this time?
I do, Madam Chair. I just have a couple of quick things here. I'd like to recognize the principal of the Thompson Early Education Center, James Lanier, for the parade that his folks put on. A bunch of spirited young people out there running around in costumes, following some grown-ups who were also very spirited in costumes. It was a very entertaining day that day. They had a good spread set out for the guests. It was well attended by both faculty members and families as well as the students. And the other thing I went to that same day I'd like to shout out to Principal Maria Johnson, Northside High School, for the excellent presentation they did in the Veterans Day flag raising ceremony. As a veteran, I really appreciate the fact that we recognize our veterans. We're tied at the hip with our veterans and with our active duty members here in this community. So I think it's important that we keep that on the forefront. I especially like to see the flag ceremony that they have there where they go around the entire gymnasium, basically encircling the entire gymnasium with flags. It's a very nice one. And I understand they had one at Meadowview also, but I wasn't able to attend that one.
Others? I have just two items I'd like to share. First, congratulations to our own Earl Taylor for being appointed for a 2-year term as a member of the Board of Directors for North Carolina School Board Association. We're real pleased that Earl will be serving in that capacity. He always has a listening ear, and I tell him that might be because he was a band teacher. But we do know that he does listen, and he rules with an ear that is focused on what is best for education and children and teachers. Also, Mr. Williams and I had an opportunity to attend the Onslow Rotary Student Leadership Conference that was held on November 20th. It was about 140 juniors from every high school in Onslow County as well as Camp Lejeune. It was an exciting day. We had a wonderful, wonderful program and we had 2 outstanding speakers that were lengthy speakers. I think that the students really enjoyed it, and next year, hope that some of you will be able to join us as well. If there are no other good news, that is the end of our good news, and I know that most of you are here because of the good news, and if you would like to make your departure at this time, this would be the perfect time for you to do so. Thank you for coming.
Superintendent's state meeting next couple of days. I will be back. How are you? Did we on the you might let it That's right. It is a big deal.
Excuse me. The next item on our agenda is the first public participation comment section. We do not have anyone who signed up for that. So we'll move right on to the financial audit contract. Mr. Holloman?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Mr. Stout, North Carolina General Statute 115C-447 authorizes local boards of education to contract for an annual audit, subject to approval by the Secretary of the Local Government Commission. The board has an agreement with the independent audit firm, Anderson, Smith & White, to perform the annual audits. The firm has conducted these audits in a highly organized and professional manner during previous engagements. The firm is committed to continuing their audit plan to perform the effective and timely audits while utilizing their considerable experience in North Carolina Public School Board audits. They've also committed to continuing the existing agreement and maintaining their 5-year fee commitment that matches their original agreement. This extension was previously approved by the board. The audit engagement letter is attached, along with a contract proposal for the audit for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2016, in the amount of $45,000. The contract to audit accounts provided in your packet is a standard contract form required by the North Carolina Local Government Commission. Upon approval by the board, the contract will be forwarded to the North Carolina Local Government Commission at the Office of the State Treasurer for final approval. This contract is recommended for approval by the board at this time.
All members of the board have had a chance to peruse the document that is mentioned. Will anyone make a motion to approve the contract as is presented?
I'll move that we approve it as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion or comments?
I would just like to mention, the fact that when this contract was actually entered into with these folks, they actually reduced the price of this contract from what it had been previous years. So I think we're getting a pretty good bargain there. And I think the reason they did is because they knew it was so easy when they come to Onslow County to do what they have to do, so.
Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. And congratulations for doing a super job all the time, Jeff.
Thank you.
Next, Mr. Stout, is the first item 9 on the Board of Trustee appointment for Coastal.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. We've had an unexpected resignation from our Board of Trustees appointment for the Coastal Carolina Community College. Mr. M.J. Herring has submitted his resignation as a member of the Coastal Carolina Community Board of Trustees. His position is appointed by this Board of Education. There has been a recommendation given, and that is Mr. Jeff Clark. He is the CEO of Jones Onslow Electric Membership Corporation, and he would serve the remainder of Mr. Herring's term of office, which is set to expire June 30th, 2017. So action requested is that you consider the appointment of a replacement nominee for the remaining term of Mr. M.J. Herring on the Board of Trustees of Coastal Carolina Community College through June 30th, 2017.
Is there a motion that we approve the recommendation of Jeff Clark?
So moved.
Have a second? Any discussion? I think Mr. Clark will serve Onslow County Schools well, but also will be a very good liaison between the community and the college. I think he'll do a very wonderful job.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I would like to make one brief comment. In the future, I would like to see if we couldn't elicit more participation from the public. We have a number of leaders here in the public that I'm sure would be more than willing to serve on these boards if we were able to provide them a little notice, and perhaps we took it into consideration, went through a workshop, and had some references come in. Mr. Clark, I'm sure, will do a great job, and I also want to commend Mr. Herring for the long service that he's been on the board. So I think in the future we need to expand the process perhaps.
Well, the motion on the floor is to approve the recommendation, so we won't entertain the other comments, but can certainly act on those at a different time, and they're well taken too. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And I would like to take just a moment of privilege to say to M.J. Herring, who served as our representative on the Coastal Board of Trustees for over 30 years, to thank him. He really served us well. He was, a former teacher here in Onslow County at White Oak High School, and then was the vocational director for many, many years before he retired, and then went to the Board of Trustees. And I think the board, our board, will send him a nice letter to let him know how much we do appreciate him, and let Jeff know too. I'll see Jeff tomorrow morning and let him know he's got some big shoes to fill. So thank you for letting me to say that. The next item is item 9A, and it's the one that we added about listening to the presentation by our board attorney about a lawsuit that is being conducted, and if we want to join that lawsuit, it does have some advantages to us, and without me saying any more, I think we'll just turn it over to Alec. I apologize for my voice.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I got a call from Mr. Holloman not too long ago. He's always looking for some money, and he asked me, did I know about this lawsuit that had been filed in Richmond County, where Board of Education got a judgment against the state for part of the improper equipment fees. And I said, yes. He said, would you look into that? And I said, I would. And I called the School Boards Association and asked if they, on behalf of all the school boards, was entertaining the thought of bringing a lawsuit to collect the monies for all the other 99 counties or 100 school districts. And they said that they did not have any interest in doing that, and but gave me a name of someone who may be doing that. And I called the firm of Campbell, Shatley, and Asheville and asked if they were in fact considering filing a lawsuit like the Richmond County lawsuit. And they said they were. They in fact had just filed it. And I said, if my board is interested in joining that lawsuit, is it too late? And they said no. And so what this is about is that under North Carolina law, if you plead guilty or found guilty to a traffic offense called improper equipment, then $50 of that fine has been going to the county for the benefit of the jail since 2011. And there's a statute that the legislature passed that sets that out. Well, Richmond County said the North Carolina Constitution says that all the fines and forfeitures go to the school fund. And it spells it out in our North Carolina Constitution. The clear proceeds of all penalties and forfeitures and fines collected in the several counties for a breach of the penal laws of the state belong to and remain in the several counties and shall be faithfully appropriated and used exclusively for maintaining free public schools. So Richmond County filed a lawsuit against the state. They won in Richmond County. The state appealed, and the Court of Appeals this past September, affirmed that trial court decision saying that money belonged to the school system. And the state did not appeal it to the Supreme Court. So that decision stands. Now, it doesn't affect anybody but Richmond County. They were the only plaintiff in the lawsuit. So Campbell Shatley, PLLC, has filed a lawsuit on behalf of 24 other counties, and Onslow County can join that lawsuit if you're so inclined. And what that would mean would be that if in fact the Onslow County votes to join that lawsuit, then if the verdict is the same in this lawsuit as it was in Richmond County, and it's the same exact issue, the same exact point of law, then the estimate is that Onslow County would receive $867,000 from the state of North Carolina for this $50 fine that has been appropriated to the state's benefit as opposed to the school system's benefit. The legislature amended this law this past session and has changed it from a $50 fine to something else to go into the court system. So this is not something that, unless it's also litigated down the road, it's not going to continue. This is it looks like a one-time thing. I'm under the impression there's a 3-year statute of limitations on this, meaning that you can't go back but 3 years. So the longer you wait to decide to get in, the less revenue is in the pot that could be available for you. So that's the background on it, and I have sent all of you all a memo to that effect, what I've just told you.
Thank you for doing that. So that we can have a discussion, is there a motion that we put this on the table to discuss and consider?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or comments?
I do, Madam Chair. However, I would prefer that if somebody would like to speak in favor of it, I would prefer that they speak in favor of it before I speak in opposition to it.
You need to go ahead and speak since you asked to speak
I can
first.
do that then. As Mr. Irwin has put up there, the majority of that is out there. It is public record. The only thing I think that this board needs to understand, what the public needs to understand, this started off in 2011 with House Bill 642. The title of that was the Justice Reinvestment Act. It was passed almost unanimously by both houses of the legislature. 50 votes in the Senate and 116 votes in the House of Representatives. They passed to the House bill ratifying that. Passing the bill, though, is only a portion of that. They still had to fund the bill. House Bill 200 in session 2011 was the funding mechanism that they used for that. It's within that funding mechanism is where the quandary became an issue here. That's where it ultimately ended up in court, because the funding mechanism was such that it said that it has to, the money has to be collected and sent to this misdemeanant body, if you will. When they filed the lawsuit, they filed it, as Mr. Owen said, on their own. In Richmond, they got the judgment in their favor, went to the Court of Appeals, and it was also in their favor. Now, I'm not sure which lawsuit we're going to enjoin. There's another lawsuit in Wake County that involves 34 different school districts.
That's right. Tharrington Smith brought that lawsuit.
So this is different than that.
Yes, sir.
And the cost that you have down here is $867. Now, do we have some backup data
I don't have
with
it.
regards to that? Because in a Tharrington lawsuit, the amounts that Onslow County had for the total period of 2011 through 2016 totals upwards of $1 million something. Now, the figure they may have may back out that because of the 3-year statutory limit that would take some of that out of there. But I couldn't come up with the $867,000, so I was unable to determine that. The point that I'm trying to make here is that the legislative intent of this bill and the recoupment of those monies, the wording perhaps was improper, and the courts have subsequently ruled in the favor of the school district. But the legislative intent, and it had bipartisan support to pass the bill, was to provide for monies to go into the justice system, to house, under a contractual basis, inmates at the county level. Now, we can certainly file a lawsuit if that's the board's desire. I'm in opposition to that. Number one, I don't like filing lawsuits against other governmental bodies. The public is the one that loses anytime we file a lawsuit, doesn't matter what. And when you have one public body filing a lawsuit against another, the only people that win are the attorneys. Now, you've listed out here that it's probably going to cost about $2,000 per board. I was involved in a lot of litigation in my career, and if we can get a lawsuit filed, even if we enjoin the lawsuit for $2,000, that's probably a pretty good deal, because they're giving us a cut rate deal on the price there. It's a below the amount. I'm not sure that they're going to be able to sustain that, especially if it's a protracted lawsuit and if it goes all the way up through the Court of Appeals, and if it goes all the way up. They may be able to do that for $2,000, but I think that we're at jeopardy of doing that. But the bottom line that I have the objection to is not so much in the cost of the recoupment of it. It's ill-gotten funds, as far as I'm concerned, for the education system. It was funds that were designated for the justice system to alleviate, and it was a new bill that was created at that time. It had nothing to do with education. It was bad verbiage, perhaps. It was bad legislative policy to put it through the way they did. I don't think that we should capitalize on the fact that the legislature has made a mistake and the courts have rectified that in one school district. I'm in opposition to the process.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Just for clarification, again, we've all received the same information. But since 2011, the $50 has been redirected to the prison system, now to another
Another division.
the court system and so forth. we have not received any money from those fines and forfeiture since 2011, is that correct?
That's my understanding.
Okay. Not only Onslow County, but other school systems in North Carolina. When I see the statute and the number of school systems, currently I think there are about 33, 34 that are part of this lawsuit.
There are 2 lawsuits pending that I'm aware of right now, Mr. Taylor.
Okay.
Darrington Smith has filed one. They're a law firm in Wake County, and I think they may have as many as 30 school systems in their
Okay, well, I
lawsuit.
saw, yeah, I see Wake County in this one too, okay.
And this one is captioned, Alexander County Board of Education, and then they list 23 or 24 other boards of education.
Okay.
That's the one, it's also filed in Wake County, but this is the one that, is before you to decide whether or not to join. And if you do, the attorney that's filed the lawsuit says that our cost will not exceed $2,000.
As I look at all the school systems in North Carolina that are already on board, and I do anticipate more jumping on the wagon per se, I think it's worthy of notating that of those school systems, about 9 or 10 of them surround Onslow County. Brunswick County School System, Clinton City, Craven County, Cumberland County, Duplin County, Jones County, Lenoir County, New Hanover, and Sampson. And the others from the Piedmont or the western part of the state have already joined in this lawsuit.
Yes, sir.
Is that
And
correct?
this one has got the western counties.
Right, okay. The way I see it, I think the bottom line is we can either not participate and take the risk of losing out on possible $800,000 while others will benefit. If the Richmond County Board of Education has already won, and we're operating on the same premise that they did, we can either sit back and say no and not benefit from this, or join and receive the money that's already listed in the Constitution. Earlier this evening, I, along with Madam Chair and Mr. Williams, attended the swearing-in ceremony of Sammy Phillips as the mayor of Jacksonville, and Councilman Lazar and Ms. Washington, excuse me. And I was reminded of an oath that they pledged to, and that we all did, that we will support the United States Constitution, we will support the North Carolina Constitution. And it just reinforces me as an individual board member why in the world we're sitting here. We had about 80 kids out here this evening who are working so hard and just day in and day out. That's why we sit here on this board to work on their behalf. I think a lawsuit is the very last step in the process. You do everything that you can to avoid that. But I'm here to support the Onslow County Schools and public education in North Carolina. I wish the General Assembly could find another way, whether add on $50 to whatever and just designate that. But right now, the statute pretty much is clear. I think even a third grader can understand it. Thank you.
Well said. Any other comments? I'll call for the question then. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Thank you, Mr. Irwin, for getting that to us early so we could peruse that. And Mr. Williams, thank you for doing your research as well. This is the time we have the second public comment session. If anybody would like to speak on an item, they may. I don't see anybody fighting to get to the microphone, so I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Have a good time.
Have a good evening. Be safe driving home.